Good morning, everybody. Hi, it's Garry. Welcome to today's live stream. Just wait until I can hear myself on my preview, then I know that we're cooking on gas. It's still playing my intro video. I love the music for this. I found it, Google has some free music you can use, and I found it on there. I really quite like that. That's why that's in the video every week, because I just like the music. It's got that nice beat to it. So, welcome everybody. Let me just slide that over ever so slightly. We've got some people already in the live chat. Welcome to Blonde Scales 1. Good evening from Arkansas. Alia Rose, hi from ungodly hot Pennsylvania. Yeah, here in Perth at the moment, it's 11 Celsius, which is 52 Fahrenheit. We've had a bit of a cold week. Let me just recalculate this. So I think it was Wednesday when I got up, it was 6 Celsius, which is 43 Fahrenheit. I had to give in that day. I put the heating on. You know, normally I don't bother with the heating because although, yes, I'm saying it's cold, it's not really cold. I mean, 11 Celsius, that's livable. But yeah, it's certainly not ungodly hot at the moment. Ted Smith, hello from Seattle. Welcome to you, Ted. Atomica Elf, welcome. Hello from California. Blonde Scales 1, plenty hot here too. Ricardo, good morning from London. So we're going around the world today. Marie, good to see you, Garry. Thank you, Marie. It's good to be back. John, I'm going to mangle this, sorry. John, John. And sorry, I've really struggled with some words. I do have a slight speech impediment. You don't often hear it because I can concentrate enough. But there's a number of words which I really do struggle with. So greetings from New York. Welcome to you, Tom. Tom Morley. Hello, good evening from Atlanta. So that's 12 hours earlier. So I'm talking to the past. Ted, very upbeat intro music. I agree. Yeah, I really do like it. I think it's nice. There's loads of free music. I spent hours looking at the free music on YouTube, which you can use in any of your YouTube videos. Really enjoyed that. Let me just move this out of the way. Got loads of windows open today. No, press the wrong button. I don't know. Technology, don't you just love it? I'm just resizing my browser window because I'm going to be showing it later on. Right, let's minimize that. Richard, welcome. Hi, Maryland Eastern Shore. Oh, yeah. Welcome to you, Richard. I don't know if that comment came up. There it is now anyway. Blonde Scales 1, we're going to be flirting with 100 Fahrenheit in the near future, and it's earlier than normal. Yeah, we found that in our summer. It seemed to start a lot earlier than it usually did. Now, I'm experimenting with a brand new camera layout or setup today. I'm just moving it a bit because it seemed to be a bit looking at my nose. We don't want to look at my nose if we can avoid it. I think what I need to do is for next week is raise it up a little bit further. So I've actually got it stood on a book and my pen case just to raise it up. I think I need to go just a little bit higher because yeah, I feel like you can look at my nose, which isn't a very nice sight. Today, I'm going to try and keep it like we did last week to approximately maybe half an hour-ish. Chances I'll go over. But next week, my intention is to go back to normal. This is just part of me easing back into doing things. So rather than dashing and doing it straight off, I'm doing these couple of short ones, then I'll go back to normal. So we don't have like a topic today. I'm just going to refresh the comments, see if there's any further comments. Tom, to Richard, I'm up in Maryland, western suburbs of DC. That's nice. So we're getting some little bits of people close to each other, which is good. Right, let's transition over to the overhead camera. Okay. Let me just move my microphone. So, the pens I've been using this week. I need to reposition because I've got this paper. The paper's in a really bad place this week. Next week I'll make sure I move it over a bit. So the pen I've been using all week for my replies to my quotes that I do is a handmade pen by that pen bloke. He's an Australian pen maker. He's now based in the Adelaide area in South Australia. This material is one he poured himself. It's called Something Special. We've got yellows. We've got some, like, I want to say burgundies. Really nice. It's a very light feeling pen. It's a cartridge converter. Loads of ink in here. I've hardly used any ink. Just pass that down. One of the things I like with this, the section is quite long. It's a nice, comfortable section. My fingers, I hold my pens, as I say quite often, down near the bottom, so it feels quite nice. And then on here, we've got a Yoho nib. So we've got that pen bloke. And he just calls it a fountain pen. It's got a broad nib. So when I got this, it was 190 Aussie dollars. Because it's handmade, I would contact him if you're interested in these. Obviously, it varies on what the pattern is, what the material is. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Flame. Very nice pen. I really like this. So I've just realised I didn't get all my pens out today. So we'll have to skip the next one. So Sunday's, sorry, that's that pen bloke. Sunday's pen, sorry. Sorry about that, and I'm going to have to blow my nose a few times. Sunday's pen, it was a Platinum 3776 Century, but it's in my pen case, which the camera stood on. Let me just double check, is it in the pen case? Yes, it is. So I won't be able to show you that. I don't want to mess around with the camera setup. It took me ages to get it to stand like it is. So Monday's pen was a Platinum Preppy. So we've gone from the fairly expensive pen, yeah, $190, it ain't cheap. It's good value, but it isn't cheap, to a really inexpensive pen, the Platinum Preppy. Plastic pen, very light pen. I've got this eyedroppered. When I bought it, it came with a cartridge. You can buy a platinum converter. It's about another 15 Aussie dollars. I quite like this eyedroppered. There's fair bit of ink. There's a bit of ink in here. Now that I've stopped using it as my EDC, hopefully I'll get used up within the next month or so. Nice pen in the hand though, very comfortable. Bit on the thin side, but not uncomfortably so. Can't speak today. So we've got here a Platinum Preppy. This is the 05 nib, which equates roughly to a medium. So 8 Aussie dollars. You can't go wrong. The ink is by Herban, and it's Eclat de Saphir. I love this ink in this pen. You'll hear about me talking about more in the wrap-up that'll be coming out later on this week. But really enjoy it, and this is an ink. I think I'm going to continue just using this ink in this pen because every ink I've tried before this, I haven't really enjoyed, but this one, just love it. So that's a Platinum Preppy. Next up, we've got another Australian handmade pen. This was from Tasmania. Not sure who the manufacturer was, so I just call it my Tasmanian handmade pen. The wood it's an Australian wood. It's called Golden Sassafras. That's another word I struggle with, which is why I said it very slowly. It's a kit pen. That doesn't bother me. It's a nice looking pen. Cartridge converter. There we go. One of the things I don't like, it's one of these push-pull ones, so you push that down and then put it back up to fill it. Section on this, very, very thin. Don't really like it. Now, why I'm shaking it, and I'll be shaking all the rest of the pens, is all the rest of the pens have got either a shimmer or a chameleon ink in them. So let's give that a little bit of a shake. Hopefully we can get that shimmer going through. So the pen is Tasmanian. So we've got an issue there with the writing. 1 second, I'm just going to prime the feed. Didn't need to prime it, I just shook it a few times. So there we go, Tasmanian. And I'm just going to call it golden sassafras. I think the wood comes from Queensland, somewhere like that. Sassafras. Can't even spell this morning. Price for this pen, it was 20 Aussie dollars, and it's got a fine nib. Fairly reasonably priced pen. I quite like it. I bought it off eBay. The ink is by Diamine. And it's dusted truffle. We just do a quick patch here, see if any of that shimmer will come. I think this one's shimmer, so I've gone nice and heavy. All the inks now are all Inkvent inks. One of the things I'm doing is I've got a load of the little 12mm Inkvent inks. I want to use them up. So again, you'll hear about this in some videos. Every time I'm filling a pen now, unless there's a very specific reason not to, I'm making myself use an Inkvent ink. The idea is to get through them and, you know, empty out those small bottles. That's the Tasmanian Golden Sassafras. Up next, again, excuse why I'm moving it around, just trying to get that shimmer moving. This is a Parker Jotter. So what I would really class as a student pen. Very inexpensive pen, again very light. I love the way the blue and the silver work together. Parker converter in there. I'm not sure if this comes with a converter when you buy it. Why I'm saying that, this was actually bought for me by my daughter, and she bought it from a car boot sale. She paid a whopping £2 UK, and then it was sent over to me from the UK. So, you know, I'm not sure if it comes with cartridges or a converter. Let's close it up. Very thin pen, very short pen. Does post. I find this is quite nice to use posted. Feels ever so slightly back heavy, but that's because I'm normally using pens unposted. The nib on here is not the nib that it came with. Again, you've mostly heard the story. The nib it came with, I was cleaning it one day and it went down the sink. So this is a Kaweco nib, and it's a double broad nib. Beautiful nib. And hopefully with this ink, we'll see plenty of that shimmer coming through. So we've got here a Parker Jotter. With that double broad. If I was to buy it brand new, we're looking at 20 Aussie dollars. The ink is obviously by Diamine because it's an Inkvent ink, and it's Blizzard. So hopefully we'll see loads of that gorgeous silver shimmer coming in here. Just do a patch. Give that time to dry whilst we'll go through the others. From my angle at the moment, I'm not seeing any shimmer. Anyway, that's a Parker Jotter. So the next pen, this is the Marjon C3. I've had major issues with this. I've already had the nib out once and I've shimmed it. I've already had to prime the feed once. So having quite a lot of problems with this. Once it starts writing, it writes beautifully. So it's possible, because it's a shimmer ink, it's possible that the problem is that the shimmer particles are maybe drying up in the feed and blocking that. So once this is empty, I'm going to put a standard Inkvent in it. Can't talk. I'm going to put a standard Inkvent ink in it and see how that goes. So again, just giving this a good move around. I like the feel of this in the hand. It doesn't post really. You can try, but not really a poster. Section does feel a little bit on the thin side for me, but not uncomfortably so. And we've got in here cartridge converter. You can see where I've already primed it. So let's see if this one writes. So, no. So let me just go over to the side. A bit of violent shaking there. So we've got here a bit wrote over here. Okay, I'm going to have to prime the feed. Let's see what happens now. Mahjong. Yes, we're getting something. C3 with a fine nib. The price for this is 28 Aussie dollars. That's pricing it up from AliExpress. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Rainbow's End. So purplish ink. Rainbow's End. Again, let's do this, see if we can see any of that shimmer coming through. So far, as I say, quite disappointed with this. What I'm going to do, it goes into the cleaning mug. I'm going to give that a clean out, most probably later on today. And then I like to leave them like 24 hours to dry out. What I'll also do is I'll pull the nib and feed and put them both through my ultrasonic to really give that feed a really good clean in case there's some cloggage. Then I'll fill it, as I said, with a standard ink. So that was a Mahjong C3. Just move this page up ever so slightly. Next up, we've got the Hongdian, the Light of Hope. I absolutely love this pen. Not so much for the looks, not for much for the shape, not so much from the way it writes, for the name. The Light of Hope. What an awesome name. And it's something everybody needs, that Light of Hope at the moment, don't they? This is a blue pen. And what's nice is the blue continues into the nib. We've got here another cartridge converter. So let me start irritating or agitating this. My wife always says I'm really good at agitating things. Or, well, no, she normally says I'm really good at agitating her. But, yeah, let's agitate this, get this, hopefully get this shimmer so it comes out. This is part of the Black Forest series, so there's a massive range of colours available. I did check during the week. It is still available on AliExpress. I've had this now, I want to say about 3 years. So we've got a Hongdian. The Light of Hope. It's a, just double checking my notes, yeah, it's a fine nib. Price wise, this is about 32 Aussie dollars. The ink is by Diamine. And it's Storm. Beautiful, like bluey grey ink. Okay, let's do a little swatch there. We'll come back. I'll go quite heavy. I say the idea is to see if we can get that shimmer coming through. Bit on the thin side, that's one of the downsides with this pen. Lengthwise is fine. Posts really well. This here is where it posts, and then when you take the cap off, love that pop. I don't post it though because I don't like pens posted and I don't need to. So that's the Hongdian, the Light of Hope. My last pen, this is a pen I was gifted a few months ago. This is a Schaefer Prelude, or Prelude, not sure how it's best pronounced. Beautiful black coloured pen, then we've got this gorgeous gold trim. Very nice looking pen. Cap pulls off. Schaefer converter. Again, another pen needs the manufacturer's own converter, a bit like the Parker one. And the Preppy if you use a converter in a Preppy. So I'm just agitating it. The nib is a Mr. Pen nib. It's a medium cursive italic. So I'm still learning really how to get the best out of this. But I quite like it. I'll show you why after I've done the writing. So this is I've got to make sure I spell it right. I want to keep putting a C in this. Schaefer Prelude. Or Prelude. It's medium cursive italic. Price for this pen, 94 Aussie dollars. The ink by Diamine, and it's Sugar Snap. Beauty really with a green pen, beauty with a black pen. Use virtually any colour ink you want. Let's swatch it again. So this nib, very similar to a stub. So you've got a wide line going down, got a thinner line going across. I wonder, can I... There's the nib stood high up, and how low down can I get it? So that's trying to change the angle of attack, really. I like this pen, I really enjoy it. I say I'm just getting used to the nib still, but really like the character that it fetches out in my writing. So that was the last pen. Let's see, have these swatches dried with any shimmer? So if we look at the Tasmanian Golden Sassafras to start with. There we go. Just making sure it's in the camera. So seeing some silver shimmer there coming out in the word Tasmanian. Not really seeing much of it in the other words. A little bit there in that swatch. The Parker Jotter. Actually, the first line I don't see much in the way of shimmer. Hopefully this will get caught on camera. Diamine though, the word Diamine, absolutely covered in silver. And again, with the swatch, I'm just trying different angles to give you a chance to see that. The Mahjong C3, got a nice, like a red there in it. So we've got purple ink with red. The word Mahjong got loads in. In fact, the first line got loads. Second line, not so much. Again, where I've done that swatch, not seeing a lot either. With the Hongdian, let's see what we've got here. Hints there of a silver shimmer, I think. Not a lot coming through there on that one. Then with the Schaefer, again, little hints, but not that much coming through. So they're the pens that I've been using this week. Just got to reposition my chair. There we go. Right, so comments. Are there any more comments come through? Today's mug, it's my Avengers mug, and it's peppermint tea today. Okay, that's loads. So Ted, Blonde Scales 1, I grew up in Arkansas. I miss the people, but not the heat. That's that. I say, because I grew up in the UK, in various places in the UK. Well, I grew up in a place called Scarborough. Then at 18, I went to university and then lived in a number of different places in the early part of my career. Lived in London for about 8 years. And yeah, it's the people you miss, not really the place. Ricardo, nice to see you in better health. Thanks, Ricardo. Yeah, I'm a lot better. I'm still slowly easing myself into things because one of the things I'm terrible for is pushing myself. So I'm just trying to ease my way in. Andreas, good morning from Queensland, Australia. Great to see you back. Thanks, Andreas. Richard, Richard, Tom, just across the bay. Blonde Scales 1, been in Arkansas since 77. Ted, I was there from 75 to 95. Atomic Elf, have you ever met Mick L? He's based out of Melbourne, which is quite the distance, but I know he travels a bit since he sings opera. No, I've never met him. I do watch his videos. I'd love to meet him, but where I live, from here to Melbourne, is, from memory, it's about a 4.5 hour flight. And that's on a jet, so it's a fair distance away. Like, if I wanted to go to Sydney, Sydney's about a 6 hour flight. Australia's big. You don't realise how big it is until you really are here and travelling. One of the things which always tickles us still, when you're getting directions from somebody, they'll say, yeah, it's just down the road. By just down the road, you could be driving for 2 hours. So, yeah, the distance is quite big. Blonde Scales 1, cool. John, what does bloke mean? I can see somebody's there's a later comment. Made by Dawn. Hey, Gary. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to you, Dawn. I think Dawn's in Belize from memory. Let me just press the wrong one. John from Tom. Bloke is a person, but sort of informal. Yeah, I believe the guy who makes them. I think he may be from the UK. I've watched a few of his Instagrams, and he sounds like he's from the UK. I might be wrong. Bloke is very much used in the UK. Andreas, it's a traditional informal English for man, so yeah. Blonde Scales 1. I still love my Just Turnings Opal pen. I see he's done a new drop just a couple of days ago. One of the ones he's dropped, I'm going to have to wait till the end of next month, if not maybe the month after, is a Conway Stewart material. Oh, I love the look of it. I think it's Conway Stewart. It's like a brown opally colour. Very, very nice looking. We'll have to see. As I say, at the moment, I'm not... I'll talk about it in a minute, but at the moment, can't afford to buy it. So I'll have to save up for that from my next couple of YouTube payments. Blonde Scales 1. Sorry. I hate the push-pull converters as much as the squeeze converters in the Pilot Metropolitan. Yeah, I don't like them. Especially, I know, I keep getting told off about biting my nails. I do it when I'm bored. But I find without having nails, they're quite awkward. Garry, you've got the ink pen match spot on for that pen bloke pen. Yeah, it really is. And it was actually quite an accident. I was going to put a different ink in it. I was filling about 5 pens. And when I was filling them, I accidentally put the wrong ink in that one. So it ended up having this flame. The one I was going to put in it was a yellow ink. I can't remember what it was at the moment. But yeah, I'm really liking this combo, and it looks really nice when it's down on paper. Chris, good to see you back, Garry. I'm late because I didn't get a notification. Thanks, Chris. Ted, has anyone bought the new Hondian A9? I haven't. I've popped it onto my list, and what I might do is drop some hints to my wife. She's obviously buying stuff now ready for Inkvent, and she's looking at various pens that I'm interested in. So I may ask her, I say, look at this nice A9. Teresa does books, is it Teresa Harris? She did a review of it yesterday. She did a review of I think it was the green one. Might be wrong, it might have been blue. I can't remember, old man brain. When I looked at it though, there's what they call orange, and I quite like the look of that. So yeah, I'm going to drop a hint to the wife. Only thing putting me off at the moment is when I was looking on AliExpress, there's only extra fine or fine nibs. Tom Morley, I got it today, but I haven't inked it yet. What colour did you get, Tom? I'd be interested in that. Ted Smith, I'm jealous. I've seen 2 YouTube reviews that make it look good. Yeah, I say I'm going to drop hints to the wife. It looks quite nice. I may suggest she holds off a couple of months just in case a medium version comes out. I'd rather have a medium. Phil Simpson, hi Garry, it's Katrina. I'm sat with my neighbour Phil watching. I can't comment. It won't let me create a channel to join the chat. What we'll have to do is we'll have to do some technical support with you. Katrina, by the way, is my daughter. She's in the UK. So now I've just embarrassed her badly by saying that. We'll do some technical support. Let's get that fixed for you. So if anybody sees a live pop-up during the week, it's not me actually going, well, I will be going live, but it'll only be shortly to test what I'm doing. Blonde Scales 1, I still like irritating the ink. I know, this is my poor brain keeps getting mucked up with the words. Alia Rose, has anyone seen the preview for the Black Inkvent calendar coming up? Yeah, I saw that during the week. A picture on, was it the Fountain Pens Facebook page? I don't know. I think black's a bad choice. To me, black is not a colour for Christmas. I know they're limited with the colours they could use. Maybe yellow would have been nice, or orange. Maybe even silver, but I don't know how well silver would have come up. Or gold. You know, there's loads of different colours they could have picked. That's just me. Won't stop me from getting it, but yeah, not 100% happy with black. Got a plus from Chris Robinson. Blonde Scales 1, not yet. Ricardo, nope, but I'll be very interested in a new black ink. Tom Morley, an interesting matte aluminium finish. Ted, indeed, Hondian released a similar model last year as a piston filler. Miss Marilyn Darling, welcome to you. Hi, Gary. Hi, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I was eating dinner and forgot. That's all right. Don't worry about that. You're here. Miss Marilyn Darling, how are you feeling? I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm feeling nearly human. I mean, I'm not 100% back to where I was. I just more in detail last year, but the event that caused my heart issues triggered PTSD, and that's what's been killing me. I'm on some happy pills now. They're not. I think I need a higher dosage, but I go back to the doctor in about a month, so I'll discuss that with her. Because I was eating next to nothing. I was having, 20, maybe 30 anxiety attacks during the day, every single day. At night, I was lucky if I got an hour's sleep. I just wasn't able to sleep. I would lay there and I just could not get to sleep. Now, still getting the anxiety attacks, but only maybe 2 or 3 a day, not to the same severity. Sleeping better. I still wake up every day about 1 o'clock in the morning, and I lay there till 4 or 5 o'clock-ish before I go back to sleep. And my appetite, that's still not exactly right, but getting closer. So yeah, feeling a lot better, thanks. I say nearly human again. Alia Rose, hi to Miss Marilyn Darling. Hi back. Hello from Tom, and a hi to Tom. The Tom Molly A9, some sort of turquoise. That's what I would have said. Blue. I'm terrible with colours. To me, turquoise is blue. My wife comes out with all sorts of funny names for colours. And I ask her what the actual colour is, and then eventually we get to it's red, blue, green, or yellow. And I think once we go past that, that's me. Phil Simpson, okay, thank you. Oh, Katrina, shall I say. Miss Marilyn Darling, I've got an ink and a pen coming this week, so I look forward to that. Miss Marilyn Darling, agree. I think the black ink vent is a bad idea, and gold, yes. Blonde Scales 1, my dad's doing better too. Is ready for the 30-day restriction to be over. I bet he must be chomping at the bit about that. I know, now that I'm feeling better, I'm wanting to push myself, but I'm being very careful, and my wife is supervising everything that I'm doing just to make sure that I'm not pushing myself, which I'm terrible for doing. Now, let me switch over. So last week, I did mention about looking at some pens that I'm going to be ordering. So just waiting for my YouTube money to come in, which should come in tomorrow. So the pens I'm looking at ordering, these are from Appleboom. The first one is a Delta Dune Reflex. I quite like the look of this. It looks like it's got a nice, interesting material. We've got a little bit hints of blue there. I just think that's something different. There is another picture of it there. So we've got like greys there with that touch of blue. It says here in the description it's translucent resin. It's a piston filler, and obviously it's a steel nib. That would be my first Delta pen. Let me just move this mic a little bit closer. There we go. The second pen, which was so generously, the money was sent last week by Shaq MD. Very much appreciate that. This is the Opus 88 Omar. So I'm looking at the green colour. So here we've got this here. So this is an eyedropper filled pen. And again, let's look at the second view. So again, I think that looks quite nice. And then when I added it up, I was roughly 20 euros below the amount you need to spend to get free shipping. And the free shipping and the shipping cost was about $21. So I thought, right, don't be stupid, Gary. Is there something else I can get? So what I'm looking at getting, I'm showing the price in Aussie dollars, but in euros, it's about 28 euros. So it takes me over that limit. So I'm looking at getting the Faber-Castell Hexo. I thought I'll get the blue version here. It looks like a nice dark blue pen. There are some other colours, but I wasn't overly impressed by them. And I thought, don't have any Faber-Castell pens, so this is a good entry-level pen. It's also a pen, because of the price, I'll be able to look at, in the future for starter pens. So I thought, yeah, it's a good one to add to the collection. So they're the 3 pens that I'm considering buying. Let me just fetch up this whilst we've got the screen. My review of last week's videos. Let me just make this a bit bigger. Yeah, very good English, Garry. So last week's video, Sunday, we had June inked pens. So that's the pens that are inked up, but not in my EDC. So they may be inked up because I've used them in a video, or I wanted just to try them, or maybe I'm getting ready to use them again. On Tuesday, Battle of the Big Pens, the Ranga Model 5 versus the Jinhao 9019. Loved making that. I love that Ranga, I really do. This is the first of a whole series of videos where I'm comparing the 9019 against various pens. I'm actually going to be filming one during the week where I'm going to be putting it up against the Leonardo Momento Zero Grande, which I'm showing to the camera, which you can't see. I don't know, I need my head read. On Friday, we had the Jinhao 80 white version, first impressions. Really liking the Jinhao 80s. I'm recording, again during the week, I'm going to be recording a video where I swap the nib between a Jinhao 80 and a Safari. The idea is what I'm going to do is write with both of them with the original nibs, swap over the nibs on the camera, and then write with them both once they've got the new nibs on. The interesting part of that, obviously, they'll still be inking the feed. It'd be interesting to see if I get any mixing of the ink from the nib swap, or if the nib, just actually gets rid of that. Also, I may, again, not 100% decided, I may just go and clean the nibs as I've got them off. And then yesterday, I had, over on Tricky Little Questions, the June photo quiz. As I've said before, I love doing them quizzes. So, oops, why have I done that? I don't know. My brain, as you can tell, my brain's still not firing on all cylinders. Next week's videos. So today, I've got at 2 o'clock my time, so that's 10 past now, 3, 4, about 5 hours time. I'll be releasing my starter pens for 2024. So this is where I look at the 5 pens I would recommend for somebody who's getting into the fountain pen hobby. And there's a mix. There's some Chinese ones, there's some non-Chinese ones. I try to keep them under 50 Aussie dollars, with one exception, but I think the exception is worthwhile doing. Tuesday, I've got my first impressions of a Fullywen 2062. This is I believe it's an older model. It's a pocket-sized pen version. Very thin pen, but still quite an enjoyable pen. Then Friday, I've got my June wrap-up. And my books of the week. So I finished on Friday, Terry Pratchett's Soul Music. So in here we had some wizards, mainly focused on Death and Death's granddaughter Susan. But we had some new characters. I don't think they're recurring characters though. But yeah, we had the wizards. We had Dibbler in there as well. Cut my own throat, Dibbler. I love him. I think he's so funny. Quite enjoyed that. Again, I love Terry Pratchett books. They're just they're a read where you don't have to concentrate too much. And so I started yesterday with Interesting Times. So this is a Rincewind story. It's a wizard story. And they're talking about sending him on a mission to the counterweight continent, which essentially is Terry Pratchett's version of Australia. I do remember there's a lot of Australianisms in here, so I'm interested to see how that goes, because when I first read this, I lived in the UK. Now, obviously, I've lived here quite a few years. Be interested to see what else I pick up. So I've only read it once, or one night, so I'm only about 50 pages in. So that's my books of the week. Let's now switch to the camera. I say I'm keeping this short today, so Please forgive me for pushing it through a little bit. Blue, hope you find more relief soon. Garry, thanks. Yeah, it's definitely getting there. Phil, supervision. Yeah, she knows my wife very, very well, so she knows exactly what I mean. Chris, I've got the blue Hexo. It's quite a nice pen. Brilliant. So I think that's a good call adding that in. Chris, it does come with a converter, however, and it doesn't come with a converter, and the Chinese converters don't even fit, though I think it's supposed to be a Euro standard. So Gary's making a note. Converter for Hexo. I will look and see if I can get a converter added in. I hate it when they do that, when they don't provide converters, especially when a cheapo $2 pen from China comes with one. Ricardo, I got a bronze one with a broad nib. Sorry, smooth nib, nice pen. Pity the plastic on the section. Yeah, but because of the price of the pen, I think that's why. Chris, CMOT Dibbler, want a sausage in a bun? Yeah, take your life at your own risk if you do that. He did appear in the first few pages of Interesting Times. Rincewind had been on an island and he was pulled back by the wizards. And the first thing he did, he was ran outside, grabbed the first food he could see, which just so happened to be cut my own throat Dibbler's sausages on a bun, ate 3 of them. The wizards, they were astounded that he could eat 3 of them, but they were more astounded because he didn't give Dibbler any money, and Dibbler wasn't chasing him for the money, which I thought was quite fun. Blonde Scales 1, I'm making good progress with the Joe Pickett books. Awesome. I was looking at the books I've got. Let me just pull up. What I've done is I've now created in Apple Notes a couple of things for some books, some lists for books. Let's head over to the screen. So here's a Terry Pratchett. I'm ticking them off as I go through. So I've got all these Terry Pratchett books still to go. So that's going to keep me going at least, well, definitely all this year, maybe and well into next year. And then also Terry Goodkind, which is the other author I'm reading at the moment. So again, I've got at least 2 years worth of these to read. I may jump off and do a couple of additional authors, but at the moment I'm still enjoying both of them. As said when I last with the last Terry Goodkind one, the first load up to, I think it was Chainfire, I'd already read, found them a bit boring, but now I've got out of those, I've actually found them quite interesting again. So as you see here, the ones you can see I've already got some. I go to Salvo's, which is a thrift store, and obviously look through the books, and if I see any that I haven't got, I will buy the book. Otherwise, what I'll be doing is buying them as ebooks. And you see all these different authors that I've got. Loads and loads and loads of them that I want to get through. That's a lifetime of books, I think, in there already. And that's if I don't add any more. Will Hodge, great to see you all. Been a while since I caught a broadcast. Welcome to you, Will. Atomic Elf, it's been a while since I've read any of his stuff. What stuck in my mind was The Nightmare and the Cat-Ass Trophy. I say I'd had them all, and I just thought, it must have been last year. I just thought, let's reread them. I've got all these books. I've got most of the Terry Pratchett books. There's a few which I bought on audiobooks, so when I get round to those, I will buy an ebook version. Chris Robinson, now I want a sausage in a bun. Yeah. Do you have a local Bunnings? I think it's Sunday. Do they do a sausage sizzle there? They actually closed our local Bunnings. Bunnings is like a large DIY store. And Saturday and Sundays, certainly up until when the pandemic kicked in, they did, for various charities, they could come and run a sausage sizzle, so selling sausages in a bun and drinks, or sausages and bread usually it was. Not sure, I said, because they closed our local one, we don't often go to Bunnings now. If we go, it's actually normally during the week, so not sure what they do on the weekend. Blonde Scales 1, you'll never finish your to-read list. I know. And I say, it keeps growing. What I'm going to be doing, once I finish one of these, I've already got planned, I'm going to switch to Terry Brooks. Sticking with the Terrys at the moment. I'm about a third of the way through the Terry Brooks books, so I'll switch to them to finish them off. Terry Brooks is the author of the Shannara series. Santa, it's better late than never, absolutely. Welcome to you. Let's refresh. Right, that's all the comments. I say I'm trying to keep this one short, although saying that, I've been going nearly an hour. Give it a couple of minutes for any further comments. Let me just take that one off the screen. Let me just refresh. Not seeing any other comments coming up. Let me go and check over on this. Phil, going to bed, chat in the morning. So my daughter, she's over there in the UK where it's something like 20 past 1 in the morning, I think. So one more refresh of the comments. Blonde Scales 1, great week all. Could you compare the Hondian N1 and N12? I'm not sure if I have either of those models. Let me just NV N12. I'll pop them onto my to-buy list. Again, maybe that I wait till Inkvent for them, because obviously my wife is trying to build up my pens for Inkvent. So, thank you all for joining me today. I was aiming for half an hour, but yeah, we managed to go later than that. Chris, thanks, Garry. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Sunday. Andreas, thanks, Garry. Appreciate your effort to do this. Have a great week. Yep, have a great week, everybody. Next week, I will try and go for the full hour. So next week, we'll actually have a topic to talk about. I'm not sure what it will be yet. I normally don't plan it until the Saturday. I know, not very forward thinking of me. So no more comments have come in. I will leave the comments open whilst the outro's playing. Miss Marilyn, darling, bye Garry, bye everyone, take care. And Ricardo, good day to all. So thank you all, and I'll talk to you again soon.